My people, sons and daughters of Helgan, for many years, we have been a broken nation, shunned, oppressed, and conquered by those we sought to escape.
Alright, hello everyone, it's your favorite FGC VTubers. You guys can hear a little bit from that God tier speech. It's actually Killzone's 20th anniversary right now. I didn't know that, and it's crazy to think that they would actually post it. Well, specifically PlayStation UK. And if you haven't, you guys highly recommend you whip out a PS3 or go on and get the collection to enjoy. Honestly, probably one of the greatest atmospheric FPSs of all time, and visually too. And that says something because Halo is a visual and very atmospheric game. That is something everyone cannot deny. But, you know, it did a lot of things better, which is why it popped off. But that's not the point here. The whole point is we're trying to celebrate Killzone and how Sony won't do a goddamn thing about it. It's about, oh, we don't have any good IPs yet we're sitting here with goddamn Killzone. Fucking, I mean, I don't know. Like, the PS4 one's whatever, but I mean, what are your thoughts, Mar? How do you feel about knowing today is the 20th anniversary of Killzone?
Well, me just barely finding out because I completely forgot how old I really am. I'm actually pretty hyped about it. I mean, for the fact that the game has been going on as long as it's been, and we don't really have anything that's more recent anymore, which is kind of crazy to even think about. But like the original Killzone, I still remember it coming out, and you know, during that time, for those who don't know, a lot of it was about, oh, you know, is it going to be the quote-unquote Halo killer? And I'm not gonna lie, there were a lot of games that tried to kill Halo, and that was damn near impossible unless your name was literally Halo.
Halo killed Halo.
Yeah, Halo literally killed Halo, but Killzone was one of the few games that actually stood out on its own as its own like atmosphere of a game, and it turned out to be one of the most amazing games that ever released on the PlayStation.
And it's crazy, in my opinion. I think it could have done a lot better, to a degree, a lot better if it was actually on the Xbox, because the Xbox was a much stronger system.
Yeah, true, but I kind of feel like, you know, the idea of putting on the PlayStation was very needed. Due to the fact that, like, you know, they didn't really have like that shooter that was like the killer IP.
Right.
So for the fact that, you know, everyone knew PlayStation for like all, you know, the RPGs or the platformers, but like having this game finally come out and like be on its own 2 feet and around the same time of Halo being out, man, like you got to give it its props. Like,
absolutely.
The first game originally, I do remember it not being like too intuitive. Like, it didn't really feel like there was a lot of jank in the game for sure.
Yeah, no,
but like when the second game came out though, that was
yeah. And the thing is, what you say stands on its own is like, clearly I think Killzone would appeal to a certain demographic, because I heard this and I personally thought it was weird. But some people, oh, Halo's too something. They're like, oh, it's not gritty. Or, you know, I feel like this appealed to those kind of people, because that's something I've actually genuinely heard, that some FPS players just don't like Halo because it's not like gritty or real. And I feel Killzone definitely appealed a lot more to that crowd. And I think the stiffness was also on purpose, right? Which is actually crazy, seeing that, again, huge props how you can tell they were ahead of the game, that you are playing like a Spartan. They're not the smoothest things, like, but like something about the controls, and even you see them in action, like, you know, like, I don't know, you get what I'm saying? Because the funniest thing too is like when you play something like Tarkov that are super ground and realistic, like, dude, humans are relatively stiff if we want to do certain motions. And with Spartans, you don't even really feel it. It's funny, moving left and right, like, okay, yeah, it's relative. And in Killzone, it's the same too, but something about it, like, that, you know, there was an art direction. It's like, even though we're not super soldiers, we're soldiers, we're supposed to be more mobile to a degree, and you can see it in some of the animations. But everything about how, like you said, the shoot and everything felt very like, you know, kind of like I talked about everything. You said it before, that games should feel different, whereas in the PS3 or a later half, everything just felt like a booty water version of COD, you know. But yeah, that is definitely
like,
very intense.
I really do gotta give Killzone its props though, because the fact that it came out the time that it did, you know, to go against literally one of the biggest juggernauts in all of gaming,
right.
And it didn't disappear into obscurity like a lot of these other games did. Like, it literally came out multiple times. And man, like, if you've never played a Killzone game, I highly advise you to at least check out like the story. If you're able to find like an old school PS3 or a PS2, just to play the original Killzone, to kind of have that idea. I feel like it is justifiable to go back just to give it a good old try. But definitely play Killzone 2 and 3 if you never played it, because oh my god, man, the world building inside of Killzone 2 and 3 is just absolutely top tier.
It is. Like, there's even a meme that we see in the community that the lore is more interesting than the story, which absolutely is true. Like, I've always cared a lot more about the lore of Helgen, and heck, just the opening cutscene. I mean, wouldn't you agree? Like, I'm almost wondering, like, is the opening cutscene for Killzone one of the best opening cutscenes in video game history? Like, it really sucks you into the atmosphere of the game.
Yeah, it definitely is up there. Like without a shadow of a doubt, the way how it starts off and like it literally gives you that feel of like atmosphere and like what you're about to go through, to the point where it's like, man, like you know this is the stuff that you're gonna have to go through, and it's gonna be absolutely nuts.
And it delivers.
And,
it absolutely delivered.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially like I would say like midway through all three games actually. Midway through all three games, you really do get like that peak moment of like, oh man, like yeah, this is it, man. This is where everything's at. And yeah, oh man, I kind of want to go back and play it now as I'm playing Call of Duty, by the way.
All right. Also, I want to say another funny thing is I think it could be today or sometime this month, you guys. They're shutting down Battlefield 3, and I think Hardline on old gen systems, which is like fun. It makes me think like I hope maybe I'll hop on and get some last matches. I mean, I don't know because they haven't been that great lately, so it's been. But yeah, no. So it's the last month, man. How does that feel to you, knowing that they're gonna shut down Battlefield? I mean, it's crazy because I was playing there the last days for Killzone when they shut down the servers for 3. So I was like, fuck. And this is why I'm not a fan of server-based games. Because yeah, sure, it can make the online. You know, it's like it's the best way to put it. It's like make online better or have online forever. I prefer the forever option. I prefer peer-to-peer over servers because I've seen games. I'm like, oh, now I have to do this convoluted shit just to play Killzone 3, and the same thing is going to be true for Battlefield 3. And then the other problem for me is that the average person, especially whether they're in the middle of nowhere or whatever, Tom from fucking America and from Africa aren't just gonna jailbreak their PS3 to play Killzone and Battlefield 3. You know, like the fuck. But yeah. How do you feel about that, knowing that today's going to be the last month, or maybe day for all we know, for Battlefield?
And I mean, it is what it is. You can't really do much of anything about it. Even though it's like a huge fan favorite game, EA, you know, they have a right to turn off their servers. It is their own shit. And like, if not too many people are playing it, which I kind of find incredibly hilarious that they have the feature for people to buy their own servers, and they're like, "No, we're still gonna shut this down."
And
like
And they make like there's plenty of people. People actually get servers, everything. They've been making money. Like, so, to me, someone said the bigger theory, same way with Sony. I don't think it's that big of a secret. You probably agree. Is they want people to play their new shit. They want to funnel people for so they can get more money. Like, oh, get off our old shit. Oh, get off our old system. Come pay for Plus. Come pay for Battlefield 2042 skins. It's like, dude, because that's how popular.
Oh, it definitely does feel like that.
Like you said, the servers. Like I was gonna pay for them. I'm like, oh well, fuck me. I guess I can't now because you're gonna get rid of the game. Yeah, like I said, yeah, I agree. The sentiment too, they do have the right, but the whole thing is too, I feel like there should be an option. Like there should always be. See, that's why for my game I went peer-to-peer, or I'm gonna go peer-to-peer. I am contemplating servers, but I'm not gonna use it as just because I have servers I can't have peer-to-peer, in case something like this happens, right? Like let's say I die or some shit happens. Oh well, then shit, fuck, there you go. Servers are, the worst case scenario, which hopefully that doesn't happen, right? But. Yep, I mean, again, Killzone server, and yeah, well, like I said, it's not the end of all be all. Like people have their own servers up and everything for Killzone 2 and 3 for jailbroken PS3s and emulated PS3s. I'm in the Discord, but again, to me, it's not the loss of the game or the service; it's the inconvenience. Because at the end of the day, we live in a modern day economy, and convenience is king. More people, even for me, like I would rather just pay for a game on disc. I don't care if I don't have mods. I don't care this and that. Like, as long as the game is largely the same as PC, I'm with it. Like, I'll even take the FPS cut to a degree, right? Like, I was like, as long as this doesn't run at 30, and like I said, if it isn't Street Fighter or like COD where I like need 120 minimum, it's like I don't mind playing at 60. I do mind 30 though. But outside of that, it's like I don't really care on losing all the features. Cause to me, the convenience is it's still a purpose. Like I said, we already know I'm off PlayStation basically. I ain't paying shit for Plus. But as far as single player stuff, I'm still going fucking PlayStation. Because like even for my PC for as beefy as it is, heck, it destroys my PS5 in memory. It's still gonna play single player games better. And I don't have to look for patches or all this weird shit. And people, whatever. But I mean, yeah, that's just.
And speaking of which, are you able to bring like Killzone 2, 3, and the last one? Got it. What was it called?
Shadowfall?
Yeah, Shadowfall. Can you play those on like a PlayStation 5 now, or
no.
Stingy about it.
No, so Killzone 2 and 3, they only ever, well, obviously they're only PS3. They never made a remaster or anything. Shadowfall, 100% you can play on a PS5. You can still, I believe you can still play those to this day, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't heard
at
anything.
least the campaign. I'm pretty sure there's like no servers you can play in that, but I would love to at least try to play the campaign. But it kind of sucks that, man, how I love Sony because bringing up the convenience idea, like you would think, you know, it's a convenience for them to make as much money as possible, and for a franchise like Killzone to be as successful as it was, you know, I feel like bringing it now to the modern day, like I feel like it has a lot that could go along with it to go against all of these other FPS games that are out right now. And it would be hella convenient for them to just be like, hey, we can remaster all of our Killzone games and release them.
Or remake both. Or both. Be like, first release the remasters, that way you can't fuck it up, and then release the remake, and let's hope they can, because there are some things that could definitely be improved, for sure, but then they might ruin some other things, you know, knowing Sony. But yeah, I was just thinking that.
You know what? If you really think about it, like Sony is very notorious for just ruining their own selves. Like one of my favorite things that I just recently found out, apparently Sony had a plan to do like a combo game of Infamous and Prototype around 2016, and they cut off the project. Want to know why?
Why? I'm curious.
Because they were making Concord.
Oh, you fucking serious?
So that just goes to show you right there just how convenience goes with Sony and their ideas of, like, you know, what is a proper game to actually release. Like, and off that alone, you could already just tell, like, they're never gonna make a Killzone game.
Yeah, they're out of touch. They're out of touch. These people, you guys think that they just don't know what a real game is. I was thinking it earlier too. It's like, dude, imagine if they could just have one gamer, like Phil Spencer or me, just be CEO of Sony, bro. Like, we would make, like, dude, fucking Phil Spencer's trying to push for KI, but as we now know, he sadly can't. But if the dev team was there, dude, we'd probably have a KI working right now. You know, like, they'd be working on it as we speak. Because they're like, you know, people, they were like, blah, but our statistics, like, no. Numbers do not tell you what people want. Only people in the art medium will tell you what people want. That's the thing that people understand about being in an art medium, is that numbers will never be everything. Sometimes a person can be like, you know what, I think now is a good time to release fucking, you know, Rayman. You know, like, they just know, you know, they can talk to people, whatever, but these corporate, they don't talk to people who, you know, they don't even play video games.
Oh, but we know numbers and we know exactly what it takes for us to make. Yeah, no, you don't. Just stop it. Like, we the gamers all unanimously agree that you guys have no idea what you're even talking about. And how we know? Because we don't have a return of Killzone. Because we don't have a return of a lot of wonderful Sony titles that you guys have the ability to make, but just simply don't. And, you know, that kind of goes for Microsoft as well. Because I know for Phil, it's kind of an uphill battle right now, because he's sort of arguing with other people just to bring some of these properties back. And they seemingly don't want to, which is strange. Because it's like, man, don't you guys like money? Like, you're so into wanting to have the Fortnite formula and putting games to, like, you know, oh, we gotta have a battle pass, we gotta have cosmetics that people want to buy, we gotta have, like,
the next big thing. Do you really need all of this? Money. Yeah, there's
like, when you're sitting on something that's as rich as Killzone, do you really need all that? I don't think so. But you know what? That's just modern day gaming, I guess. You can't really say anything about it other than, yeah, it's just the way how things are now.
That's facts. Yep. And thank you guys so much for joining us for this very insightful video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I mean, I think that's actually a pretty good way to cover everything, because these are the thoughts that this is why it's like this video's like this, because, like, yeah, oh wow, you guys are posting, so you do remember Killzone exists, but y'all ain't doing shit. The only thing I can think of is maybe after hearing so much and they really be like, you know, wait, let's show people we do remember. Just to either one, they're blue balling us, or they're like, maybe they actually are someone at Sony finally got their head together. But I doubt it, because the new morons in the party, they say the thing that's true, they're not interested in going back to Killzone. They're like, oh, we're not interested in that. Like, dude, you guys did not fully explore the world of Killzone. And also, no one gives a shit about Horizon. It is not an interesting world. It's outside of the dinosaur robot tech. It was cool.
What? But don't you like playing it for the 5th time?
But the second they made open world, I'm like, all right, this shit's trash. I already knew, bro. The second they said open world, I'm like, trash. No fucks given. It wasn't the fact that your main character's a chick. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't care. Oh, Pete, like, no. There's so many things I don't care about. But, like, some of the things looked interesting, but no, the fact open world, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna leave. Because seriously, bro, there's too many of that shit, and 90% of them suck dick. Unless you're Deus Ex and maybe a Bethesda title, and not the older ones, not the new ones, then I'll give your open world game a try, because all of them suck mad cock. But yeah, thanks for joining us for this video, and then, you know, feel free to like, subscribe, and all the other bullshit. Oh, wow.